IIM Calcutta, I did my summer internship at Optum United Health Group as a product manager, and after this, I'll be working at Angel One as an associate product manager. And post that, I worked for almost a year at Everest Group, which is basically a strategy consulting firm based out of Gurgaon. And so, like these three things, like two of them were consulting, one was product management. So I wanted to explore what all does the corporate sector and have to offer.
So what's BCN? Can you explain it for a crowd?
BCN is basically Bain Capability Networks. So that is the backend team of Bain, and wherein these people like the analysts and associates out there, they help the consultants in doing the primary research, the secondary research, drawing analysis from it. Basically, they are put on a case along with the consultant. So and
Hello, hi Yash. Welcome to the IIM Journey podcast.
Hi, Yash.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good as well, thank you. So Yash, can you introduce yourself?
Sure. So I'm Yash Chaudhary. I am a 2024 pass out from IIM Calcutta, which means I'll be passing out in March. And prior to that, I did my schooling from NSIT. I did my college from NSIT Delhi. I'm an electronics and communications engineer graduate. And post that, I worked for almost a year at Everest Group, which is basically a strategy consulting firm based out of Gurgaon. And at IIM Calcutta, I did my summer internship at Optum United Health Group as a product manager. And after this, I'll be working at Angel One as an associate product manager after my completion of MBA. Sure. So that's about me.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. So at what point in your life did you decide to do an MBA?
So I come from Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. And like every other normal UP kid, I had in my mind that I had to sit for civil services after I do my engineering. And that's why I came to Delhi also. But like when I came to Delhi, I found a lot of things. I explored a lot of things. And then I explored consulting. Because I was doing a lot of case comms, I was into debating as well. So speaking was something which came naturally to me. So consulting and Bain Capability Network used to come to our campus. Everest Group also used to come to our campus. BCG, MCBCG backend, MCKC used to come to our campus. So all this aroused my interest in consulting. And so I found consulting first. And then after consulting, I explored MBA and I found about MBA and how to get into it. And therefore, like it was first consulting for me and then consulting took me towards MBA.
So what did you learn in consulting? What was there that made you do MBA?
So basically, I was in BCG, like I was in MCKC, and I was in Everest Group. I sat for MCKC, I sat for BCN, got into BCN also at one point of time. But then I had I got into Sprinkler also before getting into IIM Calcutta, and Sprinkler was a proper product firm. I got in the product implementation consultant. So I had three ways in front of me. I could either go to BCN, I could either go to Monitor Deloitte as well. I got into Monitor Deloitte. In fact, that's interesting. I got into Monitor Deloitte on the day I joined IIM Calcutta. So I got into Monitor Deloitte, Sprinkler, and BCN. So like these three things, like two of them were consulting, one was product management. So I wanted to explore what all does the corporate sector and have to offer. So it could be finance as well. And I wanted to explore my liking. So consulting was because I had been exposed to consulting since I was in my second year at college. So that was something which had always interested. It has always drawn me towards it. But then I wanted to explore product also, because product management was something which I discovered while working as a consultant, as a business analyst. So I wanted to explore everything. And also I wanted to have a good brand name and tag associated with me, so that I can always take risks and do whatever I wanted to do before thinking that what will happen if this fails, or how will I gain the trust of any employer per se or any funder per se or something of that sort. So that is why it was either like A, B, C.
D is for
These nuts.
for me, and so MBA.
Okay, so what's BCN? Can you explain it for a crowd?
BCN is basically Bain Capability Networks. So that is the backend team of Bain, and wherein these people like the analysts and associates out there, they help the consultants in doing the primary research, the secondary research, drawing analysis from it. Basically, they are put on a case along with the consultant, so that they can help the consultant per se in the day-to-day activities.
And how did you prepare for CAT?
So preparation for CAT started, I would say, in the winters of 2019. That I was in my fifth term at that fifth semester at that time, and I was in Delhi. So in Delhi there was this Time Jhande Wala, which was perhaps the best center in all of Delhi for CAT. Like Time Jhande Wala is like a very reputed center. So we went there. I joined CAT, I joined the coaching at that time, and I went for online classes in 2000 till March 2020. And then, as luck would have it, COVID happened, and but the classes stayed online also. So in the first attempt, when I gave CAT, and I got all the calls except A and B, but I was not able to convert C. And Lucknow, I was getting ABM, and I was not very interested in agribusiness management, so I went for Everest Group. And for my second attempt, which happened to be in 2021, 2022 per se, which happened to be in 2020. For 2022, it happened in November 2021. I just joined the practice, like the mock test series, the IIM CATs, which they call it. So, and I took the whole mock test package which they have. So that was it. How to prepare for CAT? I would just say to concentrate a lot on the basics. And a lot of people say recognize on your weak points, recognize on your weaknesses and work on them. I would also say recognize on your strengths per se. Because recognizing your strengths and giving adequate time to that as well helps a lot. Because I recognize that although I'm an engineer, quant is not something which I am very comfortable with. But I was very comfortable with my verbal ability, VARC, verbal ability and reading comprehension. So that was something which I kept practicing every day so that I don't lose on that. And in the meanwhile, I kept concentrating on quant as well. So my preparation would be there would be 2 40-minute tests which I would give, 2 sections which I would give each day. One would be in the morning before starting with my work, and that would generally be English, and that would generally be VARC, because I was training my mind to be in that form, because VARC is the section which you do first, and so your mind has to be very when you are doing that. So I used to give VARC in the morning, and in the evening, whenever my work would end, generally by 9:30 or whenever I would take a dinner break, I would generally give a LRDI or quant sectional. So that way I would do. And on Saturdays I used to give the mock IIM CATs, basically all India, what is the full form? I'm not remembering. It's basically the mock CATs which they have, and I used to analyze them the next day or basically the next weekend when the results would come.
Yeah, interesting strategy, because in the exam, the flow that you're going, you practice in the same flow.
Yeah, so you just have to train your mind to think according to that.
Yeah, that's a good one. So you also said to focus on the basics. What are these basics?
So basics could be different for different people. Like for me, basics was so I am a very avid reader.
तुमसे ना हो पाएगा. हमें तुम्हारे लक्षण बिल्कुल ठीक नहीं लग रहा है. तुमसे ना हो पाएगा.
So for me basic for me for VARC would be to read very between the lines. People employ different strategies, like you could do this, you could do that, but for me it was to read fast. Basically, so there would be 4 passages. We had approximately 40 minutes for each, if I'm not wrong, 40 minutes for each section, at least at my time. 40 minutes for each section. So for me, my strategy would be to get done with all the passages per se by 25 to 30 minutes. So that would take, to read and complete each passage per se, I would take 8 to 10 minutes. And for that, you have to read it around in 5 to 8 minutes. So like to basically in English, my basics would be to read fast. Similarly, in LRDI, I was very comfortable. So I'm an NTSC scholar as well. So LRDI, logical reasoning, is something which I had been doing since I was in class 8th, 9th. So for that, my basic would be to do the direction questions, or the questions which the seating arrangement questions per se, or the blood relation questions per se. These were the basics for me. So basically, to strengthen that, to keep doing that. So because one is very comfortable in the basics. So if you could find out which questions are related to your basic strengths and do those first, that is very easy, especially in the LRDI section. Because if you get stuck with the wrong set in logical reasoning and data interpretation, it could be a blunder for CAT.
Right. So what questions were asked? How did you prepare for the interviews, and what was asked to you at the interview?
Yes, so when in my 2022 attempt, like when I was giving my interviews in 2022, I typically remember my Cal interview and my Lucknow interview. So and my Kozhikode interview was almost more or less the same only, and same with FMS. So a lot of it, my interview went according to my profile as to what I do at Everest Group, and why am I pursuing consulting, and how would MBA help me in my career growth. And like, if I'm already in a consulting firm, why do I still want to join like MBA? So, and that is what I would say. Your profile plays a very big role in getting during your interviews, if you have worked like for more than 6-7 months. And also it plays a very important role if you for your summer and your final intern, for your summer internships and your final placements. Because I would say there are two type of profiles which are very liked at IIM. If you are like a topper throughout your life, you have always been to the best colleges, you have always scored the best, like you call a 999 profile, like above 90% in your 10th, above 90% in your 12th, getting a 9-pointer, getting a CG of 8.5 on, or above that during your undergrad, that works wonders. But if you are not having that kind of a profile, like I was a 997, so I was a 7-pointer in my college, 70%, which is decent enough for an engineering point of view. But then when you are at par with the CAs, with the IITNs, I'm from NSIT Delhi, with CAs, IITNs, and like people from diverse background, you need a scale on which you can measure everyone. So either you are a topper, that profile is someone with something which is very liked by people, which is very liked by recruiters per se.
Nice.
Also by the admission faculty. I'm not very sure of the admission faculty, but by the recruiters per se. And or you have a relevant work ex in some specific kind of domain per se. Like you could have like 2 to 3 years of work ex in consulting, or like let us say 10 to 2 years of work ex in product management, or typical software engineer profile, because the software engineer profile is also liked to become a product manager. Also, like if you have worked somewhere in finance per se, maybe as a trader, as an equity researcher, let's say with a bank, with the firms like EXL, like financial services firms, EXL, or like in financial consulting per se, in tax and audit consulting, like with the big fours, or some specialized boutique consulting firm, or you have done something tremendous in marketing and want to pursue a career in marketing per se, or even want to switch but have a good brand name associated with you and have the kind of expertise that a person who is coming from marketing would be required to have in that particular field, that works a lot. So I would say, if like having a decent work ex and having a knowledge and having like a thorough knowledge about your work ex helps a lot, both in your interviews and in your summers and finals as well.
That's interesting. So what questions were asked to you at the interview? Do you remember some particular questions for the IIM Calcutta?
Yes, I remember about my maths question. So I was asked a question on probability, like a typical probability sum. And I still remember the question. I think I was asked, what is the probability of getting if 2 die are thrown simultaneously, what is the probability of getting a prime? What is the probability of getting both the sum of the two die as a prime number? So that was one question which was asked. I was asked grilled a lot about maxima, minima, maxima, minima, and derivative, double derivatives, whole about differentiation. And I have a lot of, like I had mentioned in my form that I had an interest in Indian mythology and history. So we had a discussion on Mahabharata and how does it that align with today's society and modern concepts as well. So that is something which I like. And other than that, the work which I do, so and my latest projects and what I'm doing in that, and how will MBA help me align my interest in consulting and product management per se with my future goals.
And how was the reaction when you got the call from IIM Kolkata?
So, to be honest, I was not expecting my call from IIM Calcutta because I know that my probability is some. I had towards the end, like my approach was good, everything was good, but towards the end there was some mistake which I had done. If I'm not wrong, I think so. So, and I got into IIM Calcutta in my first list. So, like the first call which they give. So, to be honest, I was not expecting. I was expecting I might get in at IIM Lucknow because, and in fact, the opposite happened. I got into IIM Calcutta in the first list, and I got into IIM Lucknow in the fourth list.
Oh,
So I was dumbstruck, to be honest, when I got into IIM Calcutta. But then, like ABC being ABC, I wanted to get into ABC all along. So I was happy. I was very happy, to be honest.
what other calls you had?
I had all calls except AB. So C, L, K, I, FMS. And FMS was the only college where I was waitlisted at, like till my third attempt. But after that, till the third list. After that, I did not check, to be honest. And Baki, other than that, I got into C, L, K, I. Yeah, these were the colleges that I sat for.
And why?
I sat for that in my first attempt.
Okay.
I was waitlisted there, but then I did not sit for XLRI in my second attempt, like when I was preparing for 2022.
Right. So why did you choose Calcutta? Any particular reason? What factors made you decide that?
Only factor that it was the only one among ABC that I had a call with. But I would say that is not the factor that you should look at. Basically, you should align your interests with what kind of offerings does the college has per se. Because I would say C is the fin capital. A lot of firms come for fin or fintech or fin related roles per se. I got into Angel One during my laterals. Maybe that is because I was at IIM Calcutta, because of the fin factor per se, which they say. If you are very inclined towards product management per se or a product related role, I would say B may be the best campus for you. If you want to get a more diverse view of things, A might be the best, but then between A and C, you get a lot. To each one his own. So a lot of people prefer C over A. A lot of people prefer A over C. So to each one his own. There are ample opportunities across. I would say A, B, C, L. To be honest, there are ample opportunities across these four colleges. You just need to tap into them.
Correct. And how was your experience at IIM Calcutta, like the first 2 years?
MBA is hectic. First year is super hectic. Second year, if you get a PPO and you're content with it, you chill. If you don't get a PPO, you still keep on working for case comps. You keep on working for case comps. You keep on working for projects. You keep working on papers. So you write term papers and all sorts of things. If you want to go like on a small trip, you can do that with the student exchange program. I think almost all the IIMs have that. So I did not want to go do that personally. I'm more of an India person, so I did not want to do that. But a lot of my friends went to places ranging from Barcelona and Spain to Japan. Like people go everywhere.
Wow.
So to each one his own. But as I said, first year could be very hectic because there are midterms, there are end terms, there are quizzes which are happening, group assignments, individual assignments, and whatnot. Also, you have to maintain attendance, so that's also a thing. So, but it's a fun process. If you like the grind and you start enjoying the grind, you will enjoy it as it is. And I would say some people say MBA might be the best time of your life. You will it might not be the best time of your life, but it might be the most transformative time of my life. For me, it was the most transformative time of my life because firstly, I got to know about a lot of sectors about which I had no idea before coming to an IIM.
Like,
And sectors and like I used to think finance as a sector. I did not have a lot of ideas that there's corporate finance, there's IB, there's markets, there's trading, then there is like the kind of role that I got into. So that is like a product role, like a fintech role. So like these are some of the roles that I had about no idea about. Then there are operation roles, then there are strategy roles, CEO office roles. So these roles I did not have an idea about. So that is something which I would say that every person should like if one wants to stay in the corporate sector for now, he should explore this, even with or without an MBA. But these are things that he should look into before deciding which route to pursue. So that is something. But MBA has been a transformative thing for me. I have started to look at things differently, started to analyze problems differently, and that happens with almost everyone who does an MBA and comes out of this hectic thing 2 years later.
so how did the process of summers, and you're placed already? How did the process work? Like, what happens?
So summers and finals, both of them are very aligned processes. You get in, you make your CV. CV building again is a very hectic thing. You need to put your best foot forward in your CV, and obviously your seniors are there to help you a lot. So you just need to ask for help and put in the effort, put in the hours, and they'll come in and help you. And you need to put your best foot forward. So generally, like a CV has 4 major things. Like there are your academic achievements, there's your work in their position of responsibilities, and there are extracurricular activities, which generally you look into. And you frame your points accordingly. You try to highlight the outcomes, the results, the impacts that you had created. And then you submit your CV to all the companies or to the companies that you are interested in. And after that, you start getting shortlists, and during the final week, you are interviewed and you get an offer. So like that is how the process works at IIM Calcutta. And as far as I know, in Ahmedabad as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not very sure about the other IIMs. Obviously, during my CV, so the CV building is a very rigorous process, and you have to build your CV very extensive, like very like in a very exclusive way, so as to stand out from the crowd. And almost everyone is doing that. So that's that. But then that is how it is, and you have.
How do you stand out?
How do I stand out? No one knows how did I stand out. Maybe because of my work experience. I worked in the BFSI sector for almost a year, and I had some I had worked also on a project in the ESG space, which is environmental, social, and I'm forgetting the governance space, environmental, social, and governance space. So that was something which was much talked about. So like maybe that may help me stand out. Or maybe my engineering made me stand out in the product management space. You never know what recruiters are looking at. The best is you have to put your best foot forward and have a thorough understanding of what you're putting in your CV, so that you don't come across as someone who's dumb enough in your interviews.
Right. And you talked, Yash, you talk about the importance of the profile. So someone who is being a fresher, and if they have an average profile, how do they stand out? Can they stand out?
So they can stand out. So if you are a fresher and you have an average profile, I would say to do as many case comps as possible during your undergrad also, and in that particular time, do as many extracurricular things which could be done. So that is something which would help you stand out. And take advice from seniors who have that kind of a profile and have gone into and have pursued an MBA. So that is my advice which I would give to freshers, because for freshers the thing that they have is, I would say, which comes across as a boon for them, is that they are new, so they can explore each and every sector. So, and that is what companies are also looking for. So that way, I would say if they would and try to do as many kind of case comps which they can do. Try to explore each sector and perhaps do a case comp or a project perhaps in every sector.
Right.
Try to do internships with particular firms, with particular sectors, with NGOs, and understand how the market works. So that is something. And also, if they are passionate about something, be very passionate about it and pursue something reasonable and something which is worth writing about in your resume and something which is worth talking about. Maybe if, let us say, if you're very passionate about football, then be
Right.
so passionate that you play that football at the district level or at the state level per se, and mention that in your resume. That also comes in as a spike or something which is exceptional. And that is what
Oh.
consulting firms basically are looking at. They're looking at spikes or something which is exceptional per se. So whatever you are passionate about, just be very open about it and pursue it with full passion. Not just for the sake of your resume or just because you are free and idle and want to do something. That is what that was what my advice would be for freshers.
That's interesting. And what's your favorite memory at IIM Calcutta?
My favorite memory at IIM Calcutta. Well, there are a lot of memories, but favorite memory at IIM Calcutta would be when I did not sleep for 24 hours per se, and that was because we had our final exam, and our final exam basically the final exam, like on the end, the last exam of first year, the last exam of third term. Because then we studied for the exam, we slept very less for it, then we gave the exam, then we got back, and there was some batch meet or something, I do not exactly remember, or there was something, and then there was this class party which happened, and then we partied, I think, till 4 or 5 in the morning. Then we watched the sunrise and then we slept. So that is one memory which I have. Other than that, there are a lot of memories. One of the favorite memories was when I got placed both in summers and finals. In finals, obviously, not that airy thrill, but like in summers when I got placed, that was something when I was very happy. So that is another memory. And there are umpteen memories. There are a lot of memories which I would not like to talk on right now, but when you get into
not for the camera,
or you get not for the camera, but maybe when you get into IIM, to each one his own, and you create a lot of memories. You might be having not be having the best time of your life because it's very stressful. But yes, I would always say that you will have the most transformative time of your life.
Yeah, that's very nice. And what would be some of the advantages and disadvantages of IIM Calcutta?
People almost know of advantages. I would talk of the disadvantages first. So IIM Calcutta is not in Calcutta per se. Basically, it's in Joka, which is like the nearest place which you can call Calcutta is approximately 30 to 40 minutes from IIM Calcutta. So you do not get to visit the city that often. So, and that being said, that is from a city point of view. Other than that, some other disadvantage would be, so it's a very fin-oriented campus.
Okay.
Not a very, very fin-oriented campus, but yes, you need to know basics. So if you're coming to IIM Calcutta, I would say, if you get into IIM Calcutta, just try to have a basic understanding of what financial analysis is, the basic terms associated with financial analysis. CFRA as a subject comes in with is a subject which a lot of engineers, people like me, struggle with, people who have not had anything to do with finance per se. But I would say having that knowledge is even a basic understanding of that is very important, because if you don't have that, that will come across as a major disadvantage to you. And be ready to face the grill, at least in the first 2 terms, because then that is when a lot of subjects would be coming your way and you would not be getting the time even for chilling per se. So that is something which you should be you should have an idea about that. And if you are a very chilled out sort of a person, and think that C stands for chill, that thinking would be a disadvantage for you during the first 2 terms. Also during the first 3 terms also, maybe because subjects like corporate finance comes in 3rd term, and that could be a bit difficult. So that's that. And other than that, advantage is almost everyone knows once you are in IIM Calcutta, you are like in the creme de la creme college. So like if you put in the hard work, you'll get the reward for that, either in terms of placements, in terms of opportunities. Another advantage would be you get ample opportunities. You want to write a paper, you want to write a term paper, no problem, go on and write that. You want to go for the student exchange, no problem, you can do that. You want a master's in management degree, no problem, you can apply for it. If you get through, you can do that from some of the top colleges across the globe. And if you want to play, you can always play in Sangharsh, the annual ABCL thing which happens, the sports fest which happens. So you have a lot of opportunities. If in one word you have to say advantages, it's opportunities.
Wow, that's pretty beautiful. So, Yash, right now we'll be having a rapid fire session. I'll be giving you two options. You have to choose one. Are you ready?
Sure.
Yeah. So, business analytics or operations management?
Business analytics.
Mentorship by seniors or independent learning?
Mentorship by seniors.
So, work in Bangalore or working in Gurgaon?
Gurgaon. Anytime Gurgaon.
Why?
I like Gurgaon. It's just that I like Gurgaon. No hard
Okay.
feelings towards Bangalore. I just like Gurgaon.
All right. Okay. Next one: classroom discussion or online forums?
Classroom discussions. Physical presence is always better than online.
Oh, okay. Many in the work from home category might disagree with you here, but yeah, all right. So stress.
At least for learning. For learning.
Okay.
Not for working, but for learning per se.
Okay, got it. So stressful deadlines or consistent workload?
Tough and tricky, but I would say stressful deadlines, because consistent workload is something. If that workload is consistent, then we don't get the time to chill per se, I would say.
Okay, makes sense. Negotiation skills workshop or conflict resolution workshop?
Negotiation skills, because conflicts, if there is a conflict, it can never be resolved per se, it can always be negotiated. That's my personal point of view.
Okay. Or maybe if you learn negotiation, you can negotiate yourself way out of the conflict.
Yeah, you negotiate yourself out of the conflict.
Okay. All right, Yash. So Yash, like, what's your plan post MBA? What do you plan to do? It's now that you'll be graduating in a few months' time. What are your future
So
plans?
let's say I'll be exploring, I'll be working at Angel One as an APM right now and exploring the fintech sector, the trading sector per se. And nothing planned as of now. Let's see what the future holds. Just going with the flow.
Yeah, definitely. It will be pretty much chill, very sure. And Yash, what would be your message to budding MBA aspirants? What would be your message to them?
I would just say, you all know how to prep for things. You get a lot of guidance for that. I would just say one thing: don't do MBA just for the sake of it, because in today's in today's times, there are like in today's situation, there are a lot of times when you could get good jobs per se without even doing an MBA if you have the correct domain knowledge and if you have the connections.
Right.
So I would say, have a all-round holistic approach as to why do you want to do that, and if you really want to do that and you find yourself capable enough to thrive in that kind of thrive in that kind of a stressful environment, then only go for it.
Okay, that's a very crisp and decent feedback. I believe that would be valuable for our viewers here. Yes, thank you so much for your time today here. We wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Yash. Bye bye.
Thank you. Have a good time. Bye bye.